When you were sent to hell, you expected fire, brimstone, and hordes of demons. But upon your arrival, you found nothing but a barren wasteland and a single lonely imp. I don't know what I was expecting my death to be. I guess I fell in line with the modern atheist belief that it would be a lot of, well, nothing. Eyes closed, breathing stops, and that's the end. Even if a small part of me held on to the hope that there would be something more, I didn't think it would be this. I arrived to a barren wasteland. Dark gray rocks stretched endlessly in every direction. A faint red sky bereft of sun, moon, or stars coated the ground in its lonely hue. There were faint chalk marks on the ground. They stood out poorly enough from the craggy basalt underneath before factoring in the natural erosion of time. But they seemed to have once read, "Clearance. Everyone must go." The message seemed to have been stamped in the same chalk at regular occurrences as far as my eye could see. The one next to me seemed to have a rainbow at the end. And about 5 feet away from me stood an imp? Well, it was something anyway, and the only sign of life I could see. It came approximately 2 feet off the ground with cherry red skin, Coke bottle glasses, and 2 delicate horns nestled into a tangled mess of brown hair. It looked up as soon as I appeared. "Ow!" it squeaked. "Hello, yes, hello, sir." I can't remember the last time I had received such an enthusiastic greeting. It was honestly heartwarming for someone that had lived and died as a shut-in, ostracized from family and former friends. Hello? I tested my voice, rough from weeks of neglect. It had been at least a few weeks since I spoke to Aunt Patty over the phone, hadn't it? "Hello, welcome to Old Hell. Oh, don't worry about the disorientation. You just died after all. You'll adjust fairly quickly." Did you just say hell? But where's the fire, the brimstone, the hordes of angry demons torturing humanity for eternity? Did we get it all wrong? I asked. "No, you're absolutely correct," the little creature replied. "All of those things and more await you. But there's been a slight shuffle up recently, and a few things have changed. I've only been left here to handle final cleanup of any loose ends, of which you're the first in 8 years. Which makes it the more curious you're here. You really shouldn't be." "As in, I should be in heaven?" I said hopefully. "No, someone clearly screwed up for you to be here in Old Hell, but no one would ever screw up that badly." "Oh, are you sure?" "Sir, do you know how often someone who should have been in heaven was mistakenly sent to hell?" the imp said, peering at me over his thick spectacles. Frequently, I hope." "Once. Precisely once during the entire time we've run this place. It was Judas. I mean, he was on the list and destined for endless torture, but someone on the other side made a really good case that he was directly responsible for the proselytizing of billions over time. That actually, his betrayal of Christ was not only intentionally working towards the side of good, but the single best thing to happen to Christianity ever." The imp snorted. "Have you ever heard of such a crock of shit? Still, it worked. We had to let him go." The imp leaned closer and whispered conspiratorially, Don't believe that nonsense that all lawyers are bound for hell. I mean, there are, but a fair number of them, the best ones, end up in heaven. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? They're lawyers. But I digress. My point is, you don't look like Judas. So let's get you sorted, eh? The imp said brightly, shaking a clipboard with fine silvery paper at me. Jeff DeSantis, Minnesota, 37 years old, it muttered, flicking through the thin stack on the clipboard. At least, it looked thin, but I could have sworn the imp had flipped through significantly more pages than there were. Ah, here you are, the imp announced. Born in the year 1985, Jeff DeSantis will be committed to hell for crimes relating to, Actually, it's Jeff, I interrupted. I'm sorry, the imp replied slowly, looking at me like I was an idiot. You said Jeff. It's actually Jeff. Look, you're saying Jeff a lot. And don't worry, that is indeed the name I have here. No, you're saying it as if it's spelled with a J-E, but it's spelled with a G-E-O. The imp's head swiveled to look back at the clipboard, then back to me. And you can tell that when they sound exactly the same. Fascinating. I shrugged. It's not so much the sound as the intent behind the name. I'm used to it. People have been getting it wrong my whole life. But a monumentally stupid way to spell that name, the imp said, shaking its head wonderingly. Okay, I think I see what happened here. You didn't get uploaded properly because your name was entered incorrectly. Minor clerical error. I can get that fixed up right away. What do you mean, uploaded? I asked. I was a lot more calm than I should have been in this situation. I chalked it up to the side effect of dying. Hell is on the cloud now, the imp said enthusiastically. Think about it. A distributed network that is definitely scalable with regular backups just in case we accidentally actually kill someone. The cloud. Like, you mean the internet? I asked. Like Dropbox? Google Drive? Yes! It will save us so much money over time. The imp replied, flashing me a page of some charts and graphs of his endless clipboard. I tried really hard not to notice the Deloitte and Amazon Web Service logos prominently featured at the top of the page. And the security is supposed to be so much better. The minute we found out this was a possibility, the head office went and snapped it right up. Not to mention the rep was so dreamy, we just couldn't say no. I shook my head. Before I had been laid off, the company I'd worked for got a similar visit. It's been a pleasure working with you, Jeff, the imp said, now making the familiar, why in the world would your parents screw you over like that face that I was so used to seeing. I've corrected your name in the records, and you should have a place in Cloud Hell. I'll transfer you now. We use something called FTP, which as I understand is a lot more painful than the old way of doing things, but hey, just think of it as a promise of things to come. A teaser of sorts. The creature giggled a bit at its own joke. See you on the other side, okay? The last thing I saw was the imp's smiling face as my vision faded once more.